White House officials know that populist sentiment could be stirred up with news of these billions of dollars in bonuses going to officials from these companies that received billions in government bailouts from the taxpayers. That's populist sentiment that could end up being directed at the White House if not handled correctly.
Why should the taxpayers?
The Attorney General of New York says that the 9 large banks that accepted $175 billion in federal bailout money gave out $32.6 billion in bonuses last year.
To say that the taxpayer is going to pay the bill and the bank executive is going to walk away with $1 million bonus when it was a terrible year for the bank, that doesn't make sense to me.
Some banks have 10 days to submit their plans for this year's executive compensation packages to the so-called pay czar at the Treasury Department, Kenneth Feinberg. The big question for Andrew Hall, the energy futures trader and multimillionaire who owns this German castle, will Feinberg okay his $100 million bonus? On the one hand, Hall is said to have made Citigroup $2 billion. On the other, taxpayers bailed out Citigroup with $45 billion.
We want these firms to earn money. We want them to pay the taxpayers back. And so absolutely what he's working at is, is sort of balancing off are they going to be able to retain talent with our sense of outrage.
And though the administration has been pushing rules to let shareholders have more of a say in executive compensation, will that, along with personal expressions of displeasure, be enough? Especially when some economists say deficit reduction will be impossible without a tax increase on the middle class, which Treasury Secretary Geithner refused to rule out.
But you're not ruling it out. You can't rule it out.
Well, I think that what the country needs to do is understand we're going to have to do what it takes. We're going to do what's necessary.
The president has lost ground in polls recently about the perception of him as a tax and spend liberal, as well as his handling of the economy and health care. What he does not want is, on top of all the concerns about his spending programs, to be held responsible for these billions in bonuses.